Good afternoon. I am David Alejandro Rodriguez Soche, a public accounting student at Nueva Military University, and today I am here to present what is macroeconomics. Definition of macroeconomics. Macroeconomics is the study of the major economic aggregates, the income, unemployment, inflation, and national wealth that collectively determine a nation's overall economic well-being, rating that examine individual markets of firms. Macroeconomics focus on economy-wide phenomena and the force that shape entire nations' standard of living over time. That is, macroeconomics repeats with and fundamental tension now as the crucial choice. The apparent trade-off with, between unemployment and inflation, with policy markets attempt to reduce unemployment through expansionary policies, inflation tends to rise. Conversely, efforts to combat inflation to resist policy typically result in higher unemployment. This enduring dilemma has shaped economics policy debate of decades and remains centers to understanding we achieve our macroeconomics objectives and understand gross national product nominal the total level of spending on goods and services measured at current price. Nominal GDP is we never either produce expands or price rise or bond. This makes a shown misleading indicator of true economic growth. Since raising price alone can inflate the figure without any actual increase in production. Real GNP, the true measure of productivity at who for price shapes expressed in the in the price of the base year. Real GNP reveals whether the economic is generally produce more goods and services or simply experiencing price inflation. This is the criminal metric economists use to assess whether living standards are actually improved. GNP deflate calculate as the rating of nominal GNP or real GNP. This index measures the average price level across the entire economy. The GNP calculator is essential for the fitting inflation and understand how much of nominal growth is attributable to price increase versus a nominal increase in production capital. Trade lane, of price. Macroeconomics ident- identify two critical benchmark concepts that illuminate the economics operating constraints. Natural real GMP, the level of an economy can sustain indefinitely without causing the inflation really to accelerate or decelerate. This natural level grows steadily over time through pop population increase, capital investment, and improvements in labor productivity. Natural rate of unemployment. The unemployment rate consists will currently natural real GNP. While around 4 and 5% in developed economies is represent structural frictional unemployment that persists even in helping economy due to job share where transitions and skills mismatch. The core problem with actual real GNP exceeds the natural level. The economic becomes overhead. Unemployment falls below its natural rate and inflation begins to accelerate. Creative price instability conversely with actual real GNP falls below its natural level and recession emerges with elevated unemployment and decelerating inflation. These creates an interest tension that policymakers aggregate demand, supply, and economic shocks. Aggregate demand and supply. Aggregate demand represents the total spending throughout the economy and all final goods and services. Fluctuations in aggregate demand causing big changes in consumer confidential investment spend. Government expenditure or export demand are a pretty drive of deviations between actual and natural real GNP. Aggregate play reflects the economy's production capacity given existing factors of production, labor capital, technology recourse. The aggregate supply core determine know how and price response to changes in demand. Supply shocks. Supply shocks are unexpected disruptions the, that directly affects production cost and capacity. The Kinson's example in an OPEX oil embargo, we dramatically increase oil price. Simultaneously, oil resin products costs across the economy and reducing real of supply shocks create a particular basing police challenge. The Council General false simultaneous occurrence called starting from identificational solution for struggle to address this combination effective stabilization policy tools of economy management. Government employ two primary categories of police tools to address deviations from the natural rate of unemployment and to stabilize economy of policy. Involves the try shocks in government, Spain levels and tax rates to inflate aggressive demand. Expansionary fiscal policy, lower tax and hit her govern Spain. Aims to boost demand and reduce unemployment. Con- contra- Contradictory fiscal policy here taxes are reducing Spain. Aims to call inflation. However, fiscal policy operates with significant implementation lags and legislation shall take time of to propose, debate, and enact. Two, monetary policy involves central bank control of the money supply and interest rates to inflation, spending, and investing. Lower interest rates stimulate the government in increasing aggressive monetary policy typically operating more killing that fees policy to is effects of the economies style involved sustain recounting and implement tax. Historical debate Keynesians versus monetarism. Fundamental disagreement has long divided the economic policy community regarding the proper role and effectiveness of government intervention. A Keynesian's perspective. Keynesians emphasizes the inherent instability of the private economy. They argue that investment spending and consumer confidence are valid and subject to psychology effects, leading to bond boost cycles. They advocate for this government policy, fine-tuning the wrong fiscal abuse to sauce the cycles and get closer to full employment. For this view, the government should intervene actively using stimulus during recessions, restraint during inflation periods, view will such stabilization and essential for mindfying, prosperate, and minimizing unnecessary unemployment. Monetary perspective. Monetaries argue that activities police often cause more harm than good. They contend that tempting to keep unemployment permanently well is natural relator expect policy currents and continue as a layer of inflation. As the price speculation adapt to survey simulation. Monetaries adopt for relevant policies such as maintain accounts growth rate for the money supply rather than this criteria uh, intervention experiencing the long variable lags of police. Conclusion: the enduring concerns and continuing debate. After the decades of macroeconomics, theory development, and imperialist research, a broad consensus has emerged among economists retaining certain fundamental truths. Police cannot permanently reduce actual unemployment, but is natural rate in the long run. Attempts to only generate isolation inflation or lasting upon that this long run tree of the vertical Phillips curve represent a hard constraint on what stabilization police can achieve. However, because debate continues regarding the excellent and front of government, government intervention appropriate in the short run, even as economists accept long-run constraints, they disagree substantially of the optimal degree of activity police intervention to smash bookings cycles and minimize unnecessary short-term unemployment and inflation velocity. Short-run station semis wholesale. Many economists support target intending to reduce um, term economic disruption even if long run threat of persist. Rules may perform discretion. Others maintain that consistent rule-based policies create more stable uh, exceptional state. Inscriptionary fine-tune institutional testing matters. Effectiveness of police depends critically of institutional design, credibility, and the coordination between fiscal and monetary authorities.